Hey guys, Greg here, Underground Graphics. Today we're going to show you the Raptor Boss C stripe. So this is a kit we had on our standard Bronco as well. We did make some changes to this. We felt like with the bulkier fenders, the bigger mass of the Bronco, we wanted to give it a little bit more heft to it. So we pulled some of the stripe back. What we're going to be looking at is this kit here. Again, this is kind of mimicked after that classic Mustang Boss stripe. And what we've done is we've pulled this back a little bit. We're on the standard Bronco. This is a little bit thinner. We did a full pinstripe around this. This will go great with some of our hood graphics. It will be a great match. And again, with this kit, we're also going to offer a version 2 and a version 3. These will be in 2 color alternates only. Felt it didn't look great with just a reverse out pinstripe, so this will be as a color option. You'll see some photos of this on the site done in the code orange, and it looks amazing. So today we're going to do that classic pinstripe in a matte black. I would recommend either matte black or satin. Again, if you've got the painted fenders, it's going to be a great match. If you've got the paint match fenders, again, you can do whatever color you want, but again, we like that matte black or that satin black to kind of just highlight the accents of the vehicle. The door handles, the mirror caps, the top, your steps, the wheels. I think all the wheels on the Broncos, Raptors are black. So great options for that. Anyway, let's get started. I know we've done this kit for the Bronco, but we're going to go ahead and do this again for the Bronco Raptor. Tools you're going to need, that is going to come with a standard squeegee, which is just going to be your white squeegee here. All of our films are masked with a transfer paper, which is that protective layer on top, which helps for the installation. That's fine for that hard edge. If you're going to come back over on the paint, you may want to opt for that felt liner on that. That's available on the website. A couple little extra pieces as well as that plastic blade if you need to pick that stripe back up. This helps a lot better than your fingernail. Of course, you're going to need a blade. I've got my own shop tools, or I've got my little breakaway blade and a felt squeegee as well. But if you know, you may need an X-Acto knife. You will, because you're going to be cutting right down the seam here, and I believe here, and just in those seams. So nothing on the paint. Make sure you have some masking tape, pair of scissors, a clean microfiber towel, and of course that alcohol water prep. Again, this is our shop solution. We have this available as well in little to-go pieces, spray bottles, but if you just want to do that at home, we're using a 20% alcohol mix with just some water. All right, let me show you what this kit's going to look like when you get this. Of course, we're just going to be installing one side today just for that demo purpose. So with the changes, again, back to the Bronco Raptor, we have that shorter rear door. We did keep that, so you're going to have a little bit of leftover here. I think you're going to have about 2 or 3 inches that's going to overlap that door, so it's going to be something like this when we get to that. Again, I'd rather have too much than too little, and I believe on this one here, you're also going to have a little bit of overlap on that as well. You can see the little bumps here that's going to sit right on top of the door handles. And this piece here, we leave all this here on the inside really for shipping. It makes it a lot easier for us to wrap around that tube. So once we get this, once we get this on the door, we're going to cut most of this out so we can adjust this stripe. With the curve of that door, this seems to want to kick up. So we're going to get this tacked down, this whole front piece, and then we're going to pull this into position and then follow that with this rear piece here on the door. All right, let's go get wiped down and get ready to go. So again, we talk about this in every video. If you are ceramic coated, this will not stick. You do want to make sure you test that surface. A way to test that is going to be with a piece of masking tape. Oh, not that piece. But if it's not sticking, that graphic probably won't either. So you really do want to make sure you've got good adhesion on this. And that means putting that on there. And if it feels like it's not sticking at all, this is great. And again, there's no ceramic on here, but once that adhesive sets and it's heated, it's going to be good to go. But we definitely don't want you to put that over a fresh ceramic coat. Typically, if it's been on there for a few months, again, it should be all right. If you do have it on there, a light buffing compound will take that off. If you're still worried about it, contact your detailer who put that on. Let them know what you're wanting to do. They can buff that area. You put that graphic kit on and they can go back and they can coat over those graphics as well. So again, just go ahead and wipe this down. We want to get in that area make sure it's all clean. and get in here into this groove in here, because we are going to wrap that edge inside. And really just want to make sure there's no dirt, no debris, because the vinyl will show it if you come on top of that. And if you want to open up that door, get in those crevices. And you're going to kick up just a little bit and stop short just of that gas lid. And then down here, that 3-inch rocker area, we got a 2.5 inch, so it's going to split the difference right in the middle of this piece. All right. What I like to do to get started is go ahead and pull out plenty of tape, already pre-cut. If you want to fold that mirror and get that out of the way. Again, all of our kits are cut on wrap film. You're looking at on a horizontal surface, a vertical surface like your sides of the vehicle. Typically you can look about 3 to 5 years on that. If it's on the hood, it's going to be a little bit shorter just because of the UV of the sun. Nothing is permanent, but again, those OEM graphics you see are actually screen printed. Totally different process from what any graphic shop has. All right, we got that set. Let's pull our graphics over. Again, so this is basically a 3-piece kit, 6-piece of course with the, let's do this. And again, this is gonna sit basically right on that handle. We're gonna follow this crease right underneath what we call that spear. And we want to make sure we are centered evenly right on that line. And that's going to start our, I'm going to tape up front. I'm going to tape again right here. And I'm going to tape again. I think that went down a little off. If it hits this plastic of the handle, no big deal. Again, you just want to make sure that this top line is following that spear. And then make sure you're happy with where that's sitting. I'm looking at this corner here and this corner here. I can go a little bit forward, but I'm pretty good with that. Again, you've got a little bit of play in this, not a whole lot. And the reason you want that to match up, you know what, I am going to go ahead and pull that forward, is because of this piece in here where that fits on that handle. You'll see it roll in one side and not on the other if you don't get that 100%, but it's not huge. You do have a little bit of margin. I'm just picky. All right, I'm going to put a piece of tape down here on the bottom. And again, we'll worry about this piece after we get this piece installed. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and see what that looks like on here. I know I just put tape that to that door. And this is that lower door sill. But the reason I want to do this is just to make sure we are straight. So we're going to match this up. See how much overlap we have there? It looks like about 1.5 inches. And I'm just looking at my door handle, centering that on there, center to here. And again, you don't want to pull too hard, but you want to give it enough pull that it stays straight. It's going to naturally want to droop a little bit in the middle, so just make sure you're following that line. And then this is just going to naturally, let this naturally fall. Then we can come back and leave that there for now, but kind of look down that side of that. And I think we're good. I'm gonna put another here. Then I can pull this top one off so we can work on that door. And actually just do this, get that tape out of the way. Now we're just working on this door. So again, it's all about this tape too, making sure once you've got it placed, you're not moving anything. You can also make a mark if you want. So I know I'm straight right there. Now I can take this one off. And we're gonna start basically a hinge here, do our left side, and then this is gonna stay. Again, make sure it's cool in here. Our temperature needs to be done high 60s, low 70s. You get into it, it's pretty warm. This is gonna get soft and it's gonna get really tacky. So with it kind of cool, you can get that to where you can tack it, you can pull it back off. But I'm gonna go ahead and, like as I mentioned earlier, just cut off some of this inside area. And watch out for that paint. You don't want to come back into your paint. If you want to do this before, you can. And again, now we're going to have this just kind of loose for now. We know where that's going to go. But let's go ahead and do our hinge. I think I'm going to go just a little bit more in there just so I can get a little closer to that tape. And again, we have some marks here. If you want to do that little trick here where we can go right along that edge. So there's another lineup. We're going to worry about this centerpiece first. So again, taut, hit that line up, just light tack on it. Here, that line up in the back. And just kind of light, in case we need to pull that back up. I think we're going to be good to go on that. And on here, again, I want to make that mark here, just so I know where that's going to be. Same thing here on the bottom. And there's that point there. Can't stress enough how important it is to have clean hands. You are going to touch the back of this adhesive just a little bit. So make sure you wash your hands before. You can also do a little alcohol in your hands if you want. And I'm going to go ahead and cut. I want to leave some of that on the back. I just lightly tack that to the door. That's why you want to have a clean vehicle. And we're going to come over, again, nice and taut, match up that lineup on that up at the front. We're going to pull this down so we're no wrinkles in it. And come up, start working our way down. And we're just kind of using light to medium force on this. We're going to get right into there's going to be that spear right there. So you want to let that feed into it just a little. And we can push the rest of that in. Again, this is wrap film. It's not a heavy, heavy recession in there. But I want to stop right there at that bend. Make sure we get in there good. Again, even this transfer paper is conformable. So it will conform to the body. I've got all that down. Now I'm going to come back here and we're going to work on that back piece. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off and just lightly tack. And I'm going to get on that level. So you're going to get a little dirty with this. I'm going to come right back down. I'm going to look at this gap I've got here. I'm basically sitting on that line. I'm going to come back. And I'm going to follow that line. You know what? I'm going to cut this a little bit more, just so I don't stress that material. There we go. And basically, I want to match that line. Just a light tack, and you can literally visually see what that looks like all the way down. I'm going to go a little bit lower. Again, if you want to use a ruler, you can. I don't have it with me, but we're talking about a 1/16, maybe 1/4 of an inch to this crease. I'm going to follow that down. And again, just going to go light with it. This, you want to go overlapping strokes. And again, if you're worried about how that laid, just get up, take a look back down it, down the side of it. Making sure that's following that crease. We are right on that crease. So now we're going to go back and give it a little bit more pressure. And that's where you can, again, I've got that mask on there so I can be a little more aggressive. All right, make sure we're tacked. Now we can peel off. And again, we're gonna do a trim right on the inside of this door. And again, pull with the surface. Don't pull up or pull out. You know, drag that with the surface. And you see there, be careful. You saw there, that came up just a little bit. And that's where we'll go back with that heat gun to post heat, make sure all that stuff is down good. All right, and now we can probably reuse these on those back pieces if we need it. We're going to use that blade. We're going to use the top side of this, of your blade, to drag along the inside of that door so we're not cutting on the paint. Same thing here at the bottom. Now we can take these corners off. And we don't want to open this door because we still have that front attached. I can't tell you how many times we've made that mistake. So up here, just want to make sure we can see that seam. And again, we're going to drag that blade. You really want to try to hit the middle of this. But same thing, if you want to try to drag that blade, this door, we just need to get the very edge of it. The fender, we want to roll that in. So we're going to drag that blade a little bit, get that blade kind of in the center. All right. And with a little bit of heat, it'll soften that up. And then we can come back and roll that in carefully. Same thing on this side. I mean, you can really use your finger just to kind of get that started. And then once you're kind of around that bend, you can use the side of that squeegee, that felt side, and roll that in. Same thing with the door. Now once this is down, you can open that door and kind of feel that inside edge if you want to make sure you've got all that adhesive tacked down. If any of it is exposed, it could lift, so make sure you've got all that down. I know we got our back down, so this isn't a whole lot, so you don't really have to heat that, but if you want to heat that, get that soft, it'll make it a nice easy bend. But that's why I cut those before. You can also let that be long and then trim it once it's on the inside of the door. Cutting on that little inside, it's like a little piece of rubber in there, isn't going to do anything. Now we can open that door all the way up, make sure your mirror is back open again. And I know it's just super hard to see, but when you look inside that door, you can kind of feel with your finger if there's an edge showing, and I don't feel it, so I think we're down. You just want to make sure, again, there's no adhesive on that. That felt really good though, so that's good. And then same thing on the inside here. Just make sure that that edge is down. And now we're just working on those two back pieces. So now we're back, so we're just going to match that up there, which, you know, that's our marker. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I like to work right to left, so I'm going to go ahead and start back here. Go ahead and get a little, use the edge of that squeegee to get right up along that paper. That one's going to stay, but we're going to go ahead and just use that corner of the squeegee to tear that. Same thing on here. And then we're going to hinge method. And then again, don't pull too tight. This is soft material. So you just want to be taut, a little bit tight. There we go. And tap right there. Come back again. Get your last line up. Let that naturally go down. Same thing there. I'm just kind of going light with it. Working back. There we go. Now we're tacked there, so I'm not going to worry about this piece. But I am going to keep this one here, and this one here. And again, we've got our marker here and on the door of our previous . Now I can go a little bit firmer with it. And again, you see I'm using that felt edge again. Now when we go back with the heat gun, that's when we'll see if there's any spots we didn't get totally adhered. And again, with the surface, watch this point here. There we go. We're gonna go just the opposite on this side. Now I can open this door, pull off that excess. 1, 2, and 3, and I can go ahead and roll in. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're down to just that lower piece. And so just like we did on that door, on the front door, we want to get down eye level. Make sure we're starting, again, like I said, this has got a lot of extra. So I think when I made this template in the back, we didn't take it off the front, but no big deal. Again, as long as this is pulled tight, it's going to stay straight. If you want to confirm it, we'll tape it and then just look down the side. If you want to measure it, you can. I'm at 2 1/4 to the bottom of the door and 2 1/4 bottom of the door. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there as a lineup. Do our hinge. Come back, hit our lineup. Pull off our hinge. We can take it rid of our lineup. And again, we have our lineup already with the stripe that's already on the door. So we can take that off. Just match our stripe. I just did a little rollover tuck. I can pull that back off, come in the other direction. And we're going to go ahead and get that transfer paper pulled from the corner. Ooh. Make sure you're tacked. A little bit loose there. All right. So same thing here. On the door side, or the front door side, just drag that blade now we just need to open that driver door, roll that edge. Tuck that in. And again, we want to go back with that heat gun, especially with that wrap film. Typically on a wrap, we want to get to 180 to 200, some materials 220, but we want to be in that 180 to 200 range. I'm not asking you to get a thermostat out here, but we just want to go over that and look for any ripples, any waves. You'll see if there's anything that wasn't tacked, it's going to come up. And again, you want to go over that. There was that one spot on the rear door that was a little, I didn't tack very well, so I'll see it here with the heat. Right there. See that in the camera? That little bubble in there? So you want to take that heat off of that, let that cool for a second, and then real lightly go back over that and a little bit harder. This is why you want to have that felt squeegee on there. This post heating really sets that adhesive. Now I didn't cut this either, so Glad I didn't open that rear door. Make sure you've cut all your seams. And this one, you want to go right down the middle. It's pretty easy. It's a real small piece, so. Roll, roll, roll and roll. And again, we want to go back with that heat just to set that. That's such a light piece, it will be just fine. And keep that heat moving. If you put that in one place and stop, you'll put a glossy spot in it. So it is important to keep that moving. All right, I think we are done. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned up. Let's step back, take a look at it. All right, so here is your Bronco Raptor Boss C. Again, this is our classic, which is gonna have that standard pinstripe in there that's reverse cut out, so whatever color your body is what color this pinstripe is gonna be. We are gonna offer this in a 2-color version as well, so that pinstripe can be an accent color or whatever color you wanna do. There's a picture, we can drop that in the corner of that code orange. Looks amazing on there. Additionally, we have the 2 alternative versions we talked about earlier, which is that one with the little Raptor claw, which is optional, but it's another color accent up here at the front, a little bit thicker, bringing it back. And then a version 3, again, with or without that little Raptor claw we designed, that's gonna sit in here and again, just give you a little color accent if you're wanting to do a little bit of color to this. We love this kit. It is such a nostalgic feel to this vehicle. Brings back roots from the beginning, the muscle car side of it. We just love it. If you guys have any questions, give us a call, give us an email, be sure and like and subscribe. And if you want something matching to this, again, we've got a full line of hoods now we've just finished up. They can have the pinstripe in that as well. So again, thanks a lot and let us know what you want to see next.